welcome to the next episode. So we've got a game between Margate and Stalybridge. Now Stalybridge is still top of the conference, but Lee have a game in hand and they're 1 point behind, so I imagine they will end up top. Lee are just their centre forwards are just better, which is the issue here. Stalybridge lost a game recently to Dagenham and Redbridge because the goalkeeper was not very good, and they also lost away at Southport because the goalkeeper was not very good. So it's really hard to win games when your goalkeeper's getting fives. Margate are third in the lead. They won away at 7-1 at Mansfield in the cup. They also managed to draw away at Southport in the conference again. Like most of these games now, where they are dominating. 6-1 away at Woking. So basically, the teams are much better than they were. So if you look at history, competitions, domestic leagues, like losing less, winning more, scoring more goals, although they've almost conceded as many as they did last season already, which is quite funny. What are these? Yeah, so these look like they're on course to score a lot more and to get more points. I don't know why they've conceded a lot more. And then these, yeah, on course to score a lot more and to get a lot more points. Although they're both conceding a lot more goals than they did last season, I don't know why that is. Maybe the teams are just better in the competition. So let's go. And they're having a couple of changes. Specifically, the right wingers, I think, for both teams are unfit. So there's been a little bit of a change. I don't know why they're conceding more goals. Very weird. We'll have to find out why. The defences are better, but I do think that just the teams have got more goal scorers this season. Everyone's fit enough. We don't really want to change anything unless someone's like 85, 84. We'll do there. Glauber can come off, and we will kick off the second half. So Kirosh has obviously done incredibly well. So he's a centre back. So Kirosh has done really well since coming to the team. 90 quid a week. Not bad at all. And again, Shuttlewood is probably like the weak link here. I do think Stalybridge are going to be the team that take the longest to get out of this division. I think it'll take them all 4 seasons. They're just not as good. We need better fullbacks and probably better centre backs. So it's easy to find good centre backs than it is to find good fullbacks. But that's the table now. You expect Margate to catch Stalybridge, and then Lee probably are going to end up winning the league. I'll see you in the next section. So I probably should have recorded the last game. I didn't think that they were going to win because we've just not been doing great. Dover, but we did beat Newcastle 4-2 in the League Cup semi-final. So it's been quite strange which teams have done well in which competitions. So in the FA Cup, we lost on penalties, which was a pain. We should have, I think in the first game we should have won that one, but just Ipswich are a pretty good team. They came down from the Prem, so I guess it's not that much of an issue. Top of the league by quite a way. Yeah, Effin Williams is still like the best player. Don't think anyone will catch him, but these two are doing well. In the conference, it's quite tight. Stalybridge are top, 66 points, but Lee have got 2 games in hand, and Margate have got 4 games in hand. So Margate can go top if they win both their games in hand. Still the same players are being the best players in the league. In the cup, it took a replay against Palace. They won. and then they won 1-0 against Fulham. They were first in Division 1. Good performance away from home there. Lee, exactly the same. They beat West Brom away after beating. So they lost to Rotherham in the Vans, beat Southampton in the Cup, and then beat West Brom in the Cup. And then lost to Dagenham in the league. So it's been a bit mad. And then in the Vans, I believe Stalybridge is still in it, and I think Dover is still in it, but I'm not sure. Yeah, Dover and Margate are still in it, so just Stalybridge went out. So like in the cups, it's just a bit crazy. Anyway, we've now got a game between Lee and Margate. So without further ado, just let me have a check. They've got like quite easy games after. I don't mean easy games, but games that aren't an issue afterwards. So I will only sub out anyone that is incredibly low. So Columbi will come in. Kelokembai will come in. We signed Whittaker, who's now our best right winger. Robertson's had a bit of a renaissance, so he's back in playing left wing, although Master Muto's going to be playing today. Sharps. Yeah, that looks good. And then Margate, he was still in every competition. So Marwood, obviously, really good signing, but I knew he would be because of his physicals. So I'm not sure he'll go this season. We picked up Demon and Killary. I assume that's how you say his name. So yeah, this guy he's centre back. This is my normal right centre back. Okay, let's go. Let's see who wins this. If Lee win this, then that means they are pretty much not going to be caught by Margate. So Margate have to win this. Really. And it's no surprise that their best players scored. Rivera off, Jones on. Sharps can't seem to stay fit, which is a problem because he's the best defender. And here, Darlington, he's not doing too badly really, but obviously he's not one of the elite ones. Is an issue. He's decent enough. He's not like the star. It looks like there's a lot of pressure there. So a 1-0 victory. Maro obviously doing great. I don't know why he's got so many assists. But just the one goal from the superstar. What's really interesting is in these games, the passing midfielder really ends up not doing too well. And it's usually true on both sides. So I don't know why that is. Match just trying to tackle, but just not succeeding in any of his tackles. Right, let's see. I guess I'll do the Dover game away at Newcastle. So last part of this little section is the game for Dover against Newcastle. They've just lost in the league, so I think I've said this before. I think I've said it a few times. I've always found that the game before a big game, your team generally doesn't do well in their league game, so it doesn't immediately precedes it. And I found this like to be true for all teams that I've ever played, but you might have difference of opinion on that one. We're playing Newcastle away. I expect us to lose because the away goals. Oh, I didn't realise that. Away goals only after extra time. It's because it's all changed, hasn't it? I expect Newcastle to beat us. They're a much better team. Um, so you'd expect it to be like 2 or 3-0 to them. It's generally what happens when a really good team is like, especially because we lost our main central midfielder, which is Tio. And like I said before, it's one of those things where um, there's something important there. That sometimes you lose like your best players just before big games, and again, I think that's like part of the. Obviously, David Batty, the guy who never scores any goals, has scored a double. And then we don't even look like we're going to score, do we? Like, so it looks like they're going to win on away goals after David Batty scored a double. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Tom's in the middle. Augustine doesn't need to come on. Jansen can come on for Mussolini. And Gianni can come on for Ortiz just to freshen it up. And then we'll play the second half. But this is one of those games where like this is either going to finish 3-0 to them or 2-0 to them, one or the other. And there you go. So bit annoying that this is the second time we've got to a semi-final and lost. But yeah, it's just the way it is. So we're going to finish this episode with a double header. First one is the semi-final between Dover and Margate in the Vans Trophy, which I believe is just one leg. So let's start that. And obviously Dover are the team in the higher division, and Margate are good as well. I think they're second or third in their division, but there won't be much between these two teams. I think Dover had the better of the game. So you see our passers, they just don't do very well in these games. Tio's going to come on, as is Gianni. I think that's about right. Okay, Partridge for Schmidt. And if we got any over 70s, we haven't. Not really any changes that needed here. Or maybe Demon for Killery. And this one time it doesn't go mad in the thingy. It's all good. So it looks like with these defenders, obviously it's like later on in the game where there's not many goals because all the defenders can tackle. It looks like the right winger and the left winger were the best players on the pitch today, and that was it. Just a 1-0 win for Margate. So we'll go to our second game, which is Stalybridge versus Lee. As I say, Margate are probably going to win the league here. This will be an interesting game. I don't know who's going to win this one because they've both got pretty decent teams. The strikers for Lee are slightly better. Jones for Rivera, and then I think there's an 81 there. Not really anyone we need to take off. We've got this new striker who plays on the right wing, but he doesn't need to come on. No, I think that's about right. Then we'll look at the second half. Well, this changes things, doesn't it? Lagvendrick is the new fullback for Stalybridge. He's playing right back. I've had him on previous games, he's not done too well, but he's fast and strong, so he'll just have to do for now. So with the last kick of the game, it becomes 1-1, which is great for Margate and probably not ideal for these two teams. So that's where we are at the moment. There's not really much else to say, and I'll catch up with you on the next little section.